What's up, guys? It's Celeste, and yesterday Jason and I went to Spooky Empire in Orlando, which is a horror convention. And I've never been to this convention before because I'm not really a horror fan, like at all, but this year a lot of the emphasis was on Stranger Things, which I obviously am a fan of. Originally, the convention was going to be in October, and they were going to have almost the whole cast of the show at the convention. But unfortunately, it had to get pushed back because of Hurricane Matthew, and so not all of the guests were able to make it to the postponed date. But they did have David Harbour, who plays Hopper, and then most of the younger kids. We unfortunately didn't actually meet any of the Stranger Things guests other than Millie, which I'll get to in a second, because we couldn't really afford to pay for autographs and pictures with all of them, and I felt really bad to just go up and try to meet them without giving them any money. So we didn't really do that, but we did see them and they were really cute. So the reason that I did get to meet Millie was because for my birthday, Jason gave me a photo op with her at this convention. And I was kind of wary of the idea of photo ops. I always have been. I think they're kind of, I don't really know what to say about them. The whole thing was just very rushed and very impersonal and just kind of, I don't know, it was basically like going through like a factory line or something. They were obviously just trying to get through as many people as possible to get the most money that they could, which is fine for making money for Millie. That's great. I'm sure she made a lot of money, but I felt really bad for her because there were so many people and it just seems like it would be so exhausting. So they told us to get there about 10 minutes before the photo op time, and we actually got there about 15 minutes before, but even by then, the line was like a million miles long. It did actually move pretty fast, which was kind of unfortunate because the reason for that is that they basically rushed everyone through and there was no time really to actually interact with the guests at all. So it was very rushed. I mean, the people in front of me, I think literally probably had maybe 10 seconds with Millie, if that. They basically, push you on, you take the picture, and then they push you off, and that's it. But I got a few extra seconds with her because my whole goal for getting a picture with her was for us to both do the 11 glare at the camera, and that's what I wanted my picture to be. When I first got pushed into the picture frame, I tried to ask her if she could do that for me, and she was so rushed because they have people going in and out so fast that she basically just as soon as I got there turned to do the pose. And so, as I was asking her, she was, already posing, and then she was like, well, let's just hug, and I was like, okay. So we did that, and the picture turned out really weird, and, it basically looks like a prom photo or something, which is kind of creepy, because I'm, 3 times as old as her. Then, right after that, she pointed to my button that I had and said something about that she needed to cover it up because there's something with Kellogg's and Netflix and everything. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just put it away then. So I took it off and I stuck it in my pocket. And then the photographers were yelling at me to keep going. And she was looking at me and I was like, well, I really wanted to get a glare picture. And she was like, okay, well, we can just do it real quick. And the photographers were still yelling and she was like, no, we'll do it. Then we did it and she still didn't glare. So I don't know why, but I think it was just everything was just so chaotic and rushed and everything. But I really felt bad for her. The whole situation was I just can't imagine going through that myself, let alone when I was 12. But anyway, here are my pictures. Here's the prom picture. Is that not exactly what this looks like? I don't know. It's really weird to me. I don't know. And then here is the one where she's smiling and I'm sort of glaring, but not exactly. I didn't even really do the full glare because I didn't really know what was going on. So, I don't know, whatever. I got 2 pictures instead of 1, so that was cool, I guess. But the whole photo op experience was just, I would never do that again. Definitely not with Froggy's Photos, which was the company doing this convention. The main reason that I wanted to do it with her was because she will grow up and this is probably the only chance that I'll ever get to get a picture with her at this age because things are so locked down around her that she really can't do any candid pictures or anything like that. So this was pretty much the only way that I could get a picture with her. So that's what I did, and I guess I'm glad I did it, but I definitely don't think that the experience was worth $50 at all. So yeah, cannot recommend Froggy's photos. I felt bad because she seemed kind of torn between like making me happy, but also like making the photographers happy and like doing what she was supposed to do and everything. And so I felt really guilty about asking her to do another picture, but I kind of felt like I had just waited in line for an hour and paid $50, and like all I wanted was this one picture. So I don't know. I don't know. The whole thing was just weird, and it made me feel kind of gross and like, I don't know, guilty about the whole thing, but whatever. So that was actually kind of one of the low points of the day. Not, again, any fault of Millie's whatsoever, but just the whole thing was just, I don't know. I had also started to get a migraine by that point, so that didn't help, but the whole rest of the day was great. One of the other highlights was we were walking through the dealer room, and I glanced up and I saw a guy walking toward us that I didn't really look at his face. I just saw his t-shirt said Fat One, and I was like, that's got to be Joey Fatone. So I glanced up, and yes, it was Joey Fatone. Here's a little bit of background. I'm a huge NSYNC fan and have been since high school. And this past Dragon Con, Jason and I went and met Joey and Chris, who were guests at Dragon Con, and got to talk to mostly Chris, but a little bit Joey, for a few minutes, and they were awesome. And then the week after that, Joey opened a hot dog kiosk at the Florida Mall in Orlando. So we went to the opening of that. Obviously, I don't eat hot dogs, but they did have Italian ice that was really good. So anyway, Joey was walking toward us, and so I, like, as we were starting to, like, get close enough to pass by each other, I kind of leaned over and said, Joey, and he looked up and, like, kind of smiled at me, like I was starting to ask, do you remember us? And, like, as I was asking that, he, like, had this, like, look of recognition and, like went in for a hug and everything. So I was like, okay, guess you do. I've met him more than any of the other NSYNC guys, and every single time I've ever been around him, he's always been extremely nice and warm and genuine and just one of the nicest guys I've ever met, really. Chris is that way too. Every time I've been around him, he's been extremely friendly and very talkative, and they're both just really awesome. But it was really cool that Joey remembered us. And Jason said something about the Italian ice being really good, and then Joey thanked him and thanked us for coming out to the opening of that and was really appreciative and everything. And then he said something about that he had just gotten there and asked how the convention was, and so we just talked for a minute, and then he looked at me and was like, love this, by the way. And so that was cool. He complimented my costume. And that was basically it, but it was really cool to see him and just get to talk to him for a minute and have it be like this thing that was like almost like running into a friend or something. So that was definitely one of the highlights of the day, especially for something that was like totally unexpected. I took a bunch of other video of just like walking around and seeing all the people and stuff and everything. So I'll just put those into a little montage and put some music behind it. And here you go.
I got the mic.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice.
Oh no, I'm in the reflection.
Oh, nice. That's funny.
Mouth breather.
So unfortunately, I wasn't able to put this up yesterday, obviously, because I was gone all day. So I'm already kind of slacking on the Vlogmas thing, but I'm not going to worry too much about whether I do it every single day. I'm just going to try to do it as much as possible and, I don't know, just do my best. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.